Ladies and gentlemen, it's the King and I Life podcast. So touch the poet, my brother.
So Lex.
We are talking about breaking points. Of course, the reference for this is the Baltimore gentleman who killed his girlfriend who was pregnant and his ex-wife who he had 2 children with. Now, Son Solex, before we took our break, was talking about overstrapping.
Yes, sir.
Now, I get it. Trust me, I get it. Because growing up in our times, that was the thing. You know, it's either you didn't strap, you strap, or you double and triple strap. And you made sure that you were the one to take it off. You made sure you were the one who made those reproductive fluids unusable. So, yeah. But at this day and age, although that's game that y'all can take to the bank and use it as you wish.
Yes, sir.
Because it can work. But in this day and age, if you feel that you need to do that, you don't need to be laying down with that person, period. Mm-hmm. That's my thing. Because here's the thing about that. If you feel you need to put on 2 and 3 condoms, and I'm pretty sure no man can slip on 2 or 3 condoms without that female noticing. I think that's impossible. But you have to understand what message you're sending to that young lady. Now, don't know the circumstances of why you laid down with this young lady, but for whatever circumstances that you laid down, you have to understand what type of message you are sending. Let's just say you're throwing 2 and 3 condoms, and for whatever reason she gets pregnant. You have a bitter woman right there, because 1 condom wasn't enough. 2 wasn't enough. I guess it was 3 that was enough. But again, you have to look at what you contribute to these situations. Now, again, if you feel you have to do that, you shouldn't lay down with nobody. And you know, although we are in a sexual society where sex is everything, if just refrain. It's so much more mentally relaxing to not have to deal with the repercussions of after sex. Because even if you don't get someone pregnant, when you have sex with any person, feelings are going to get involved, whether it's the man or the woman. It doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. And that pushes people to their breaking points. It's like, as a man, you have sex with a woman, she feels some type of way, and you're like, nah, it's just sex. She tripping. As a man, you know, you have sex with a woman, and she's like, nah, it's just sex. Dude going deep in his feelings. But again, you have to be mindful of what you contribute to these situations and act accordingly. And that's the biggest thing to all of this. Like, you should know or have an idea of what you are getting yourself into when you decide to lay down with a person or enter any type of situation with a person.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the thing about it, for me, I knew that some of these ladies I was laying down with, we were just having fun, you know?
Right.
We both knew that I don't want no kid out of this. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Your freakiness just matched my freakiness. So let's freak it out and see what happens. Right. But let's not take it seriously where we are connected for the rest of our lives because we're having a little bit of fun. Mm-hmm. I was the type that if I was doing that, I would let the woman see me do that. Because at that point, she can get in her feelings if she wants, but at the same time, she has to know that I'm protecting myself and I'm protecting you.
Right.
Whether that be, sexually transmitted diseases or, worst case scenario, having a child out of this. And we both know that, we're not feeling each other for the long term. we're just feeling each other for the night and for the moment. You know what I mean?
There for a good time, not a long time.
That's it. So, again, I just did that because I wanted them to know that I'm not trying to mess up what you got going on. I damn sure the hell ain't trying to mess up what I got going on.
Right.
And that wasn't, saying that she was cheating or I was cheating. It was just, back then I had a lot of shit going on. Like, the boy was moving around a lot.
I can dig it.
So I just didn't need that type of extra stress or drama in my life. So having a kid was not a part of my bigger plan at the time.
Right.
But the thing about what you're saying was we have to be smart with who we lay down with. So, again, you have to be smart about who you decide you want to share your egg with. You have to be smart about who you want to share your sperm with. Because at the end of the day, like I said, if I had a daughter, I would be more harder on her about being intimate with somebody than I would my son. And that's simply because I know that as my daughter, she's going to carry most of the responsibility, meaning physically she has to carry this child. Right. My son, if he was to do something like that, he just contribute to this young lady's life. Although I'm going to be hard, I'm going to be, ticked off with him. I know that not only did he take his life off course, he just completely and totally took her off course. But I think as parents, this is something we have to really sit down and talk with our kids about. Unfortunately, a lot of us come from single parent homes. Again, I came from a 2-parent home, but my father was gone for a good portion of, my upbringing. But again, it's just one of those conversations we have to have as men with our kids, as women with our kids. You have to let them know what comes behind having a kid out of wedlock, having kids before you are ready. And the list goes on and on. I mean, there are so many things that comes with having a child. Would I abandon my child if he was to have a child before he was ready? No, of course not. Would I be highly disappointed? Hell yes, I would. Because I know that I've done everything I know to do to help him foresee the future. He just refused to take my advice. But with this particular situation, this man, again, he placed himself in a situation with these women where the pain was too overwhelming for him. Too overwhelming. It's like anytime you see somebody who's in a suicidal state, mentally their pain limit has been broken and pushed to a limit where they can't sustain it anymore. It's kind of like the damn ship that's been wrecked at sea, taking on water. You're trying to get the water off, but it's coming on just as fast as you get it off. So eventually you're going to lose that battle. But were you smart enough to send out an SOS first? Me, I need some motherfucking help. Somebody please get me some help. Meaning, let me get myself some motherfucking help. It's necessary, it's needed. I gotta have it. I'm taking on way too much water.
when you talk about having that conversation with your children, these days, although it's hard for some to have this conversation with their children, we also have to keep in mind that these children ain't listening these days. And they think they know it all. And no matter how much you try to talk to them, they ain't trying to hear you. I can say for sure, me and my oldest son's mother, we constantly was in his ear about, yo, make sure you don't get nobody pregnant. Make sure you graduate high school. Make sure you do this. Make sure you do that. Senior year of high school, you got somebody pregnant. And it's like, dude, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? And what these children and some adults don't understand is once you put yourself in that situation, a situation that you created, it's no longer about you. You have to take that mindset of me, and divide that into us, because it's no longer just you. Mm-hmm. That child is a factor in your life, in your movements, and and you just got to keep that in mind. I don't understand how people just don't take it serious. It's a serious thing that you have to take on. And if you are already not mentally strong in certain degrees, it's going to take from where you are strong at. It's going to bring you down to a different level. And you must understand that you are no longer, it's not about you. And two parents need to understand it's not about us, it's about this child. We have to do everything that we can do within our power, within our situations, to make sure that we come together for this child. To switch gears a little bit, I looked at that other video that you sent me where the guy took his sons to get haircuts, and the mother of those children was making an unnecessary scene. And it's stuff, and I love the way that he handled that situation. He pulled out his phone, he was recording it, and this, that, and the other. Great. Grandma comes in the picture and she's acting irrational just like her daughter. But at the end of the day, these are situations that we're talking about in this conversation. It's like that right there could have easily went left. Like he could have easily took it a different way. But I love how he didn't curse her out. He didn't disrespect her. He didn't put her hands on her. He was very respectful under the circumstances, and he recorded that. And that's what I'm talking about, where you need to document what is happening, because you take that to court, she got problems. Her mother has problems. And then she's approaching a child that's in his car. They got problems. Because at the end of the day, what is your problem? Why are you upset? He took his kids to get their haircuts. Okay, yeah, he was an hour late. Now, it doesn't say anything in that video whether he communicated with her or not. But in either case, what's the big deal? He wasn't running out the state with the